Okay, let's talk a little bit about OnlyFans TV. I want to talk about some quick things that everybody really should know, some things that people don't really consider, pro tips and black hat related things when it comes to OnlyFans TV. I'll keep that list a little short, but let's get started with some of the quick tips. This is what OnlyFans TV looks like, right? OF.TV. If you're trying to get a creator inside of this, then there are a few things that you need to consider first, which is most of these are high quality videos. The lighting is really good. The thumbnails are good. There is a thumbnail. When you look at one of these videos, especially going through the trending videos, these are like YouTube videos, not like TikToks. So don't edit them like TikToks. Most of them, if they're good, they have some intro scene or some sort of like decent introduction. They have good lighting. Knowing how to do things like 3-point lighting is a really good idea. They have a good microphone. So those things, when you're like considering or making content, definitely need to be aware of. When you're first starting one of these, you're going to want to have sort of bio set up. You have to get approval. So this kind of leads down to things that people don't really consider. You have to get approval for these channels. You can't just make one. And when I say approval, I don't mean like verification that you're a person. You already have an OnlyFans. What I mean is the model actually has to go and have a video consultation, if you will, like an intro call with a person on the OnlyFans team. So you as a OnlyFans agency or manager will not be able to take that call for them. They actually have to be able to take that call. So that's really something that you need to consider. If the model can't do something like that, or if they don't want to do something like that, you're probably not going to have an OnlyFans TV set up. Now, if the model that you work with is already like a larger model, and they have like a YouTube already, for example, like some sort of long form content, a podcast, YouTube, they're on Twitch a lot or something. They can like make videos that are long form content into OnlyFans TV pretty easily by just like kind of adding an intro or taking the wording a little different. You won't be able to say things like, hey, welcome to my YouTube channel, and then throw it on OnlyFans TV. But if you're like, hey, welcome to my channel or whatever, right? It can't kind of keep it ambiguous. You'll be able to do this. Some things to consider here that people don't often consider. I guess the approval. Yeah, people don't really consider that. The approval, you have to do an interview. The model's going to need to schedule it. I would say that going through most of the content that is on OnlyFans TV, if you just kind of give it a brief overview, besides having like good thumbnails, is to do like series related content. Like most of the stuff that's trending, stuff that's like originals, there's like golf shows and things like that. That's because OnlyFans TV really wants to like prop themselves up to be more like Netflix than YouTube, even though they're kind of like this interesting crossover in this space right now. But you'll notice like some of the things that make this where it's like a little bit more Netflixy is some of these shows. Not only is the quality going to be really good, but they don't have a comment section. So this is supposed to be something that you just kind of watch and then move on with your life. So they also kind of set it up in this very like Netflix style scroll wheels, things like that. The way that they set things or get things to go. And then some extra things would be whenever you're on somebody's page. So that you can subscribe directly from here. This will be the link to their OnlyFans, link to their OnlyFans TV page. So when you're on here, besides the bio, a little bit of setup of the intro of the video, all of this stuff gets set up in the form for the submission. OFTV/submit. Yeah. So this is how you do your submission. You'll submit every video this way. This has to be filled out. They'll give you you'll need to know. Some of those things that you need to know is like, you can film on your phone, but you're going to need to try to get it to 4K, and you cannot film in HDR. That has to be turned off. Things like that. So this, if you mark it as like you're new to OF, they'll set up your profile for you. You need a good thumbnail. This is how you submit everything. Then they'll let you know. You can submit more than one at a time, which is what I would suggest doing so that you can get like approvals to be able to do it on time, to be able to like launch videos like as often as you would want to. So how often would you watch some of those videos? I would say once a week. If you can't release one a week or one at very, very least one every 2 weeks, it's really not even worth doing. You have to be consistent with these to like see good attention from them. So if your model's just like really not willing to do something like that, or they're just like not following through, it'll be tough. If they're already making YouTube videos consistently, this is probably something that they can do without any trouble and not have to worry about it as much. So what are some of the like pro tip things that you're gonna want to have in here is how you name your channel matters. This is why I say this. If you go over here and you look at like creators, the default sort is recently updated. So posting often matters. Staying on top of like recently updated. If you can submit more often than not, then fantastic. More than one a week, fantastic. Keep going. You know, you'll stay on top of the recently updated. This is the default sort, but you have other sorting mechanisms. You have A to Z, Z to A. This is super important because whenever you're creating or naming channels, you want to stay on top of the list. Now, this is going to get really weird for people now that I'm saying this. It kind of like gives away some of the people that I work with, probably, but at the same time, this sorting way is important. So here's some of the sauce for that. Numbers, symbols, things like this, that they matter in order to stay on top of this list. So if you can have a creative name where your person is consistently putting out content in a sort that's either, before this, so that pops up as number one, or at the very end, so that it pops up as number one, then that is going to put you way higher ranked in the sorts above other people. Right now there's currently nobody named like ZZZ Sleep Show or something like that, right? So if you did that, then you would be number one. The other thing to consider here is like genres. Each genre matters for these, how to categorize yourself in things. If you're just doing vlogs, or if you're doing like your model's doing like wellness series stuff, or like to make cocktails, like this kind of thing. Finding a category that really fits the model and what they want to do, or something that can consistently output, is a good idea. It can also add to like the series. If you're doing like a series of like how to be a bartender, or like the best bartending channel, and they just like make drinks every week, and something that's like aesthetic, that'll be helpful. Another thing to note is because they want to be more Netflix friendly, right? They don't want to attach too much explicit content onto people inside of this. So they're going to reward the accounts that aren't attached, or the creators that have accounts that are attached that aren't as explicit. Things to consider inside of this: if you have like a free or paid account that is doing a lot of explicit content on the wall or in some like public spaces, necessarily, then not public, but public on the wall, very like in front of people's face if they just sign up, and that's like very explicit, then they don't want to promote you as much. When I say by promote, like promotions that they do to like feature people, the features, right? On the OnlyFans like OFTV channel, or the OnlyFans TV, the OnlyFans like page, right? The front page even has like these little ads where they would feature people. So you want to be featured. That's a big deal. You can see some crazy numbers, some crazy traffic from getting featured. I mean, I've seen people that make nothing in a month, right? The month that they get featured, that month they're pulling numbers that are 50, 100,000 for that month. So it can be crazy. It can be higher than that. It can be less than that. Depends on how you capture that traffic, but the traffic is good if you can get featured. So you don't want to hurt yourself from getting featured by content. So if you go look at the OnlyFans page, they feature like 2 to 4 accounts a day or something like that. Sometimes more, but I don't think it really ever goes more than 4 right now. Just depends on like how many people are starting to put out videos, I assume. So you want to attach it to a separate account, probably, if you're like super explicit and you don't want to do like that cleanup. Maybe create a second, maybe like a free account, and then just like kind of keep it clean, where all of the explicit content is inside of the direct messages. That'll help you out. Another thing to do inside of this is to make content for the holidays and events that are on the calendar, right? So Christmas, Halloween events like Shark Week, the World Series, whatever. You want to have those things sort of planned out, maybe even in your content, because you're more likely to get a feature. And as good as the regular traffic is that can come from OFTV, the features are really good. So it's worth trying to come featured. So another way that you could do that is you could just be best friends with the person who runs OFTV. His name's Alex Gwigman. You can find him on Instagram. Figure out how to be best friends with that guy. Maybe he'll get you a feature. Can you find people that you can pay for a feature? Probably. And they're probably friends with Alex. And so if somebody comes here and they're like, oh, I know the guys from OFTV, or like whatever, it's probably just Alex. So black hat stuff. Since you're not going to get called out, that you could do as a black hat status is face swaps. They're absolutely something that you can do. You can AI face swap somebody in these videos. You could take this person's video. If your model has a similar look, face swap their content, repost it. Definitely something that you can do. It is harder to get approvals. If that video gets approved, then fantastic. And if you're decent with AI, it's something that you can pull off. So find somebody that's putting out a lot of videos, start face swapping, and get your model to just put out regular videos, which is the safer. So if we want like more AI related content, or like more black hat related content inside of stuff like this, and maybe we can talk more about that. If you want to learn more about like tools and things around OnlyFans management, go to ofmtoolbox.com. That is going to have a bunch of tools, and different websites are readily available. Basically a library of things that you can go learn about to make your life better for OnlyFans management. Yeah, good day.